In the headlines, PDP presidential candidate Atiku proposes $10 billion economic stimulus fund unfolds blueprint. President Buhari blames militants for drop in oil revenue. Finance Minister says Nigeria's economy growing despite difficult circumstances. Away from Nigeria, crowds gather as Queen Elizabeth's coffin goes on display in London. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, on Tuesday said he will resuscitate Nigeria's ailing economy by launching a $10 billion economic stimulus fund within his first 100 days in office if he wins the 2023 presidential election. Atiku said the fund will prioritize support to micro, small and medium-scale enterprises that offer greatest opportunity for inclusive economic growth. The PDP presidential candidate spoke in Lagos during the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry Presidential Economic Agenda Forum for the PDP. He laid out his economic plan to salvage the country's economic fortunes before members of Nigeria's organized private sector. Atiku also said that he will rather privatize Nigeria's dilapidated refineries rather than spend $1.55 billion on their revitalization. He added that he will stop all fiscal support to ailing public enterprises, and over the medium term, the presidential candidate of the main opposition party promised to support PDP to win Lagos State in the next year's governorship.
We will restore investor confidence in the Nigerian economy to take risks and invest capital by taking the following steps. 1, there will be more clarity, coherence, and consistency, what we call the 3 C's. In policy, nothing could be more threatening to investment flows than an environment that is full of policy flaws. Our monetary and fiscal authorities will be better coordinated and shall ensure a stable macroeconomic environment with low inflation, stable exchange rate, and interest rates that will be supportive of business quest for credit. We will support the private sector to drive growth. We will and we shall. We will establish strong partnership in investing in infrastructure, in creating jobs and income, and in fight against poverty. We will listen to the private sector more. Understanding the private sector and securing their buy-in when policies are designed will determine the success of our economic growth and development agenda. Through regular dialogue with the private sector, we will build consensus, improve trust between us, and make new reform initiatives easier to implement and sustainable.
Now, as several aspirants that contested the last primary elections for different offices under the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress took the party to the court challenging the outcome of the elections, the party in the North Central has resolved to ensure that issues emanated from the primaries are resolved internally. North Central Zonal Vice Chairman of the party, Muazu Rijau, stated this shortly after a closed-door meeting of the party stakeholders in Lafia, Nasarawa State. The APC Vice Chairman said that the party is interfacing with the aggrieved party members to find solutions to their grievances to enable the party participate in the 2023 general elections free of crisis among members. Nasarawa State APC Chairman John Mamman, on his part, said that the APC family will ensure that members are not in any form of acrimony before the general elections next year.
We are going to do something about it. In fact, we are all party faithful. We are all APC men. So we want to resolve our issues internally. Our chairman, national chairman, has assured Nigerians and our party faithful that all our differences, inshallah, will be resolved before the election. You can see, you have heard from them. They have voiced out. They have told us what we are doing and where we need to improve upon.
The aim is to fix our house properly in order, preparatory to 2023 general elections. To unite our party, to ensure that we become more stronger than we are.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday blamed the fall in oil revenue on the spate of insurgency in the country. He said the activities of the Boko Haram in the northeast and the insurgency in the southeast were preventing the country from realizing its full potential as an oil-producing country. He spoke at a stakeholders meeting in Owerri, the Imo State capital, after inaugurating 3 projects executed by the Governor Hope Uzodinma administration.
Vital infrastructure, the governance and the rest of the country. This can be seen in our commitment to certain critical projects such as deep seaport, new airport terminals and buildings, various railway projects, a network of gas and power infrastructure, roads and bridges, including the second Niger, telecommunications, infrastructure, mentioned but a few.
Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has said that despite the very difficult circumstances caused by COVID-19 pandemic, the Nigeria's economy has continued to sustain its growth. And the minister stated this when she appeared before the Senate Committee on Finance to speak at a 5-day interactive session on the 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and the fiscal strategy paper. Ahmed said that there was a gradual improvement across sectors of the economy in the country.
The Nigerian economy has continued to sustain its growth since the last recession in Q3 of 2020. We have witnessed so far 5 quarters of consecutive growth, with the second quarter 2022 posting a growth of 3.54% in real terms compared to 3.11% in the previous quarter of 2022. Most sectors are reporting positive growth. The broad-based growth reflects the effective implementation of the economic sustainability measures that have been carried through by this government with the support of the National Assembly. Like many other economies in the world, our economy still faces these lingering challenges of the COVID-19, as well as the higher food and fuel prices due to the Russia-Ukraine war.
The management of the National Assembly is preparing personnel on the rudiments of the handling of legislative functions on the floor of the House of Representatives ahead of the emergence of the 10th Assembly in 2023. The 3-day capacity building holding in Abuja targets assistant directors, amongst other key personnel responsible for legislative business, floor management, and motions preparations for enhanced service delivery. Trust Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Yahya Danzaria is the clerk of the National Assembly, and he provides insight on the 3-day capacity building, which he says is routine exercise to prepare the relevant personnel on the task.
This is a routine training. It's usually done every time you are approaching another assembly. The 9th assembly will wind up by June next year. So usually we prepare staff because there are so many promotions from different cadres of staff. So this is the right time to do it before next year. By next year, what we will be doing is to prepare the staff for an ad hoc committee that will take care of the inauguration of the 10th Assembly. So we want to make sure that they are fully ready to receive new members and new senators.
Participants are expected to be taken through intense technical sessions as the training lasts. They speak on their expectations.
It has to do with fundamentals of legislative drafting. You have a process of how bills are passed and all of that, how motions are are presented in the National Assembly. So we expect that our staff, we the participants, we gain a lot from it.
Knowledge is in level, and if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. So with quality information, be able to take quality decision, which will lead to quality action and a quality outcome. Okay. So my expectation in this program is for me to be empowered for effective and efficient legislative process, legislative services, to be able to deliver and have an efficient service delivery to the National Assembly.
Handling of legislative functions, which covers motion preparation, oversight functions, and executive sessions, amongst others, requires specialization by personnel saddled with such responsibility. The management of the National Assembly says bringing them up to date with the best practices is critical for effective service delivery. Shapio Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at Okada riders' appeal to federal government to reconsider ban. Details of this and more after the break.
That's great. It's good to see you.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. PDP presidential candidate Atiku proposes $10 billion economic stimulus fund, unfolds blueprint. President Buhari blames militants for drop in oil revenue. Elsewhere, Ngoroje town in Sardauna local government area of Taraba State has recorded ice rain on Tuesday. The ice started dropping at about 12 in the afternoon and lasted for about 40 minutes, Daily Trust learned. A resident told Daily Trust that this was the first time such thing happened in the area, even though a number of ice storms were recorded in the past. He said that no damage to the crops or property was recorded because the ice dropped in seasons. The need to have a system that will cater for people suffering from mental health challenge has been stressed. A Kaduna-based consultant, psychiatrist Nafisa Hayatu, who made a case for such a system, said since nobody is immune to mental challenges, it is imperative for the society to protect those living with it. The report.
Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, work well, and contribute to their immediate communities. The significance of staying mentally healthy cut across all ages in the development of a person, hence the need to avoid any challenge with it. For many of those who come down with mental health challenge, different reasons account for this when it sets in. It can manifest in different ways, such as resorting to living in the street, which exposes such sufferers to more risk due to lack of proper care and the absence of an effective system to protect them.
So we need to have something in place that can protect and take custody and treatment of people that suffer from mental illnesses. Some of them, the relatives are around, while some have wandered far away from home. There's no relative around. So it becomes more difficult. They become the property of the state.
According to her, since no one is immune to mental health challenge, individuals in the society can only protect themselves by protecting affected people within the society.
By protecting those that are already mentally ill, we are also protecting ourselves in the future. Because as I said, we are also at risk. Nobody is immune. The mental illnesses can occur at any age. They can start from childhood to early adulthood, late adulthood, elderly. Anybody can develop a mental illness at any point in time. And it doesn't exclude people that are from affluent societies or from poor, backgrounds. Anybody. It can affect anybody at any point in time.
To address the plight of people with mental health challenge, experts believe that everyone must be a stakeholder in the overall fight against it. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
People living with disabilities in Katsina State are accusing the Katsina State government of attempting to shortchange them and are calling for immediate intervention of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. This is coming few days after the minister's visit to Katsina State, where she disbursed some cash assistance under the National Social Investment Program. In Katsina, Abdullahi Yamadi reports that the scheme targeted 7,000 persons who will each benefit 20,000 naira.
Since her departure from Katsina, people with disabilities are struggling to get what they perceive as theirs, despite there being a list of beneficiaries approved by Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. They are claiming that the minister stated categorically during the event that out of the 7,000 beneficiaries, 1,400, which is the 20% of the total number, should be people living with disabilities. However, it is surprising that only 29 people living with disabilities have collected 20,000 naira each, and they are asking what will be the fate of the remaining 1,380. We are not happy with this development. It is absolutely important for the office of the Honorable Minister to hear this. All our members in Katsina disowned the disbursement.
And as you promised, everybody will be collecting his money before leaving the hall on that day. After she departure, the official tell us that we should go and come back tomorrow. And on Friday, we met with them, and they said yet they are not with our list. We should hold a bit. Unless on Wednesday, when they give calls to our chairman, and he went there, they only give us 30 persons, and out of the 30 persons, only 29 of them settle.
Several attempts were made to get the response of the special advisor Abdul Qadir Muhammad Nasr without success. However, sources close to his office have described the claims put forward by people with special needs as untrue. As the special advisor to Governor Masari, I'm not aware of what is happening. When I heard them complaining, I intervened by advising our members to self-pedal. The sources point out that the office of the special advisor has no connection with the payment, neither did it have anything to do with the generation of the list of targeted beneficiaries, as is being claimed. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The federal government said that it is considering placing a ban on the use of motorcycles, popularly known as Okada. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, who made this known while briefing newsmen, said that investigation revealed that commercial motorcycles are used for mining activities across the country, and the ban could cut off sources of funds for terrorists and bandits. Ibrahim Ismail reports that Okada riders in Gombe State are appealing to the federal government to reconsider the issue of these commercial motorcycles, as it is a source of livelihood to millions.
According to the National Motorcycle and Tricycle Riders Association, as at 2014, Nigeria has 8 million registered commercial motorcycles across the country, thus providing a source of livelihood to millions of Nigerians. Terrorists like the bandits in the northwest and the Boko Haram in the northeast are known for using motorcycles to perpetrate their criminal activities. Concerned about the prevailing security challenges, the federal government said it is weighing options of proscribing Okada to address insecurity. However, some Okada riders in Gombe State are worried that banning Okada will pose devastating consequences.
We
will be in hardship if Okada is banned. It is the business that feeds our family. Some have 1 or 2 wives with 5, 6 or 10 children, and they depend on Okada. Therefore, if Okada is banned, people will suffer. You won't be happy if they stop you from doing your job. Banning Okada is not the solution. They should find another means to address the problem. Nigerians patronizing Okada said banning the commercial motorcyclists will affect them directly.
Per day, like this time, I enter Achaba like 5 times, 4 times. Now, you see me now, na pro Achaba, I come from out now. So if I say no Achaba, guess how Allah go do? Even me, I go suffer. Because the way I want to go buy the something, I no go feel wait motor. Then na machine I go feel carry and go. I go feel go buy something, can't do the work.
Criminologist from Gombe State University, Dr. Adamu Ahmad said banning Okada will compound the security challenges bedeviling the country. He urged the federal government to come up with a proactive and sustainable solution.
There are areas or states that ban the use of motorbike. To what extent that particular ban affects the security activities in that particular areas? To what extent do we see reduction in the criminal violations as a result of ban of motorbike? What I'm trying to say is that we can ban motorbike and responsible citizens will stop using it. Those who are using it as a source of livelihood can stop using it. But those that we think we are banning the motorbike because of them, they can continue to use it and nothing will happen.
Apart from job creation, commercial motorcycle allows for easy movements across Nigerian cities and facilitate transport to remote areas that cannot be accessed by cars. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Tuesday met with the United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, at the State House, Abuja. No official statement was issued after their meeting. The parley was held after Vice President Osinbajo's proposal for a debt for climate swap deal at a forum in the U.S. to achieve a just and equitable energy transition for Africa. The Vice President said that the swap deal, if approved, will significantly advance the cause of global net zero emissions targets and facilitate energy access and the development of African countries. According to him, the debt for climate swap deal is a win-win for both credit developed nations and Africa. And away from Nigeria, Prince William and Prince Harry will walk together behind the Queen's coffin in a procession in London on Wednesday. The brothers, along with the King, will follow the coffin on foot from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall, where the Queen will lie in state. The procession is expected to arrive at Westminster Hall at about 1500 BST. A service lasting about 20 minutes will then be led by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Mourners are queuing to attend the Queen's lying in state at Westminster Hall, and government guidance says that the queue is expected to be very long, with people standing for many hours, possibly overnight, and with very little opportunity. Israel military said that Palestinian gunmen opened fire on its troops near a checkpoint in the occupied West Bank Wednesday, killing an Israeli army officer, where the troops were said to have killed the gunmen. According to reports by the Israel military, the two individuals were spotted approaching the separation barrier in the northern West Bank, and it dispatched soldiers to the area. The report said that two suspects shot at troops who returned fire. The official Palestinian news agency, Wafa, reported that the Israeli army was holding the bodies of the two men who were both from a village near the city of Jenin. Wednesday's violence was the latest in a long string of incidents involving deadly confrontations between soldiers and Palestinians in the West Bank. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.